Well, thank you all very much for coming. I do want to thank you all for joining us here today on the 6th annual White Ribbon Day ceremony here in Melrose and standing with us to stand as a community together to put an end to violence against women and girls right here in Melrose. This event, as you all know, would not be possible without the hard work, the persistent work throughout the year, the perseverance of our Melrose Alliance Against Violence. This incredible organization has been raising awareness of problems of bullying, teen dating violence, and domestic violence in our community for almost 30 years. And I'm grateful for Maeve's leadership, including the executive director, Crystal Johnson. Crystal, where are you? Throw up a hand there. Thank you. The work of their outreach and development specialist, Mary Beth Walsh. Mary Beth. And without this, the critical support of the Maeve Student Action Board, Men for Maeve, and the Maeve Board of Directors, led by its president, Joe Garino. Joe is right here. Will continue these important efforts today and well into the future. I don't know if any of you all know how White Ribbon Day got started. So in a bunch of men from Canada, Canadian men in 1991, on the second anniversary of the so-called Montreal Massacre, these gentlemen stepped forward. On that day, 2 years before, a man entered an engineering class at the École Polytechnique in Montreal, Canada. He ordered all the men in the classroom to leave. He claimed that he was there to combat feminism. He opened fire on the women that were left in the room, killing 6 of them. Before he left Canada, before he ended his own life, he shot 8 more women that day. A sad day and a very obviously public and tragic event. But what we all know is that those events, do occur, but domestic violence in many respects is a quiet, undersold, undetected problem that individuals undergo in our community and across the state every day. I do not want to diminish the real tragedies that happen on a larger scale, but our work, our important work, is to support survivors and also, most importantly, work for prevention. Now, on behalf of the City of Melrose, we are proud to continue to stand side by side with the Melrose Alliance Against Violence and its mission. And while we cannot expect to end violence against women and girls, gender-based violence worldwide, this community will continue to do its part to end gender-based violence in Melrose by supporting Maeve's mission to raise awareness of gender-based violence, promote support for its survivors, and promote safety, gender equity, and nonviolence in our community. I am proud to say that every one of you who has joined us here today is doing your part to fulfill these goals by being here and acknowledging White Ribbon Day. With that, I would like to extend my particular gratitude to the men here today, the fathers, grandfathers, husbands, brothers, and sons of Melrose. Thank you for standing up for women and girls in your lives and throughout our community. Your efforts alongside Maeve's has a far-reaching and long-lasting effect on the City of Melrose and its residents. And to the women and girls of our community, please know that you are not alone. And everyone here today is ready and willing to support you. If you or someone you know is a victim of violence, please do not hesitate to reach out to the Melrose Police Department or Maeve or other resources to get the support you need and deserve. And finally, I would like to thank the members of the Melrose City Council for joining me in proclaiming March 1st, 2023 as White Ribbon Day in Melrose. I will now read the proclamation, and then I will turn it over to some more important folks. Proclamation of March 1st, 2023 as White Ribbon Day. Whereas our community, the City of Melrose, is deeply concerned about the public health and public safety issues of violence against women and all gender-based violence, including sexual assault, rape, domestic violence, stalking, and sexual harassment. And whereas the many cultures represented in our community are all affected, including heterosexual, gay, bisexual, and transgender individuals, communities of color, immigrants, youth, the aged, the infirmed, and the differently abled. And whereas the White Ribbon Day campaign believes that the majority of men wish to make a positive contribution towards ending this violence, and that by reimagining manhood, we can break down the rigid gender roles and power dynamics that contribute to and foster gender-based violence. And whereas our municipality, along with many other municipalities across the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, across the country and the world, are committed to taking tangible steps to raise awareness, support survivors, hold offenders accountable, and promote safety, equity, and nonviolence throughout our community. And whereas the City of Melrose recognizes the important work of the Men for Maeve initiative of the Melrose Alliance Against Violence, the Melrose Police Department, our Melrose Public Schools, and other partnering agencies and organizations. And whereas the White Ribbon Day Pledge states, I pledge to never commit, excuse, or stay silent about men's violence against women. From this day forward, I promise to be a part of the solution in ending all gender-based violence. And that is resolved that today, March 1st, 2023, is proclaimed White Ribbon Day here in the City of Melrose. And with that, I would like to bring up the members of the Student Action Board, our drummers, and our White Ribbon Day ambassador, Joe Perillo. You know him also as a musician and a high school guidance counselor, to move us along into the rest of the program. Joe.
Thanks very much, Mayor Brodeur, and thank you all for being here today. We have so many student leaders at Melrose High School that are doing some really terrific work. They care very much about being part of the solution to help end gender-based violence. And we're going to be led through the White Ribbon Day Pledge by two of our student leaders today. We have MHS Senior Braden Marceau Oleanka and MHS Junior Nathan Chow. Once again, they're going to lead us through this pledge. This is a pledge that's being recited in many communities across Massachusetts as a form of our unity in doing our part to end gender-based domestic and relationship violence. Following the pledge, we will have some music by two MHS musicians, Malcolm and Ellis, as we raise the White Ribbon Day flag here in Melrose. So without any further ado, I'd like to invite Braden and Nathan to lead us in the White Ribbon Day Pledge. Gentlemen.
I will promote respect, dignity, and equality.
I will speak out against attitudes and behaviors that contribute to sexual assault and domestic violence.
I will remind myself and others that gender-based violence is an issue that affects us all, regardless of our backgrounds and identities.
I will confront sexism, homophobia, racism, transphobia, and other forms of oppression.
I will find out how to help when I suspect that someone I know is a victim or offender of sexual assault or domestic violence.
Please repeat after me. I pledge never to commit.
I pledge never to commit.
Excuse or stay silent.
Excuse or stay silent.
About violence against women.
About violence against women. From this day forward.
From this day forward.
I promise to be a part of the solution.
I promise to be a part of the solution.
In ending all gender-based violence.
In ending all gender-based violence.
Thank you, everybody, for being here today. It's a beautiful day, and it's nice to see so many people here supporting White Ribbon Day here in Melrose. My name is Joe Garino, president of Melrose Alliance Against Violence and board of directors and a member of Men for MAVE. It's my pleasure at this time to introduce you Melrose High School principal, Jason Merrill. For closing remarks, Jason is no stranger to Melrose or the work of MAVE. He has been a community partner, an advocate of teen dating, violence prevention work since the beginning of his time at Melrose High School. For more than a decade, Jason has worked in his high school administration fostering genuine relationships with young people and a culture of respect. Melrose is fortunate to have Jason as a positive male role model for youth and adults, and we're so glad he could join us today as part of White Ribbon Day. Jason.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you for all the kind words. Good afternoon, everyone. And it's a privilege for me to be here today with all of you, to be part of this ceremony that's taking place here in our community of Melrose, but certainly in other communities across the Commonwealth, the country, and even the continent. We just took a pledge, as we have in years past, to stand up against gender-based violence, relationship violence. And it's our job now to continue to do that and stand up against it as student leaders and also as adults in the community. And that's with our own actions ourselves and with how we respond to the actions of others. We have folks in all ages in our community who have been part of the solution in modeling positive behavior in relationships and nonviolent behavior, in supporting healthy relationships of all kinds. We have many people in our school community that we're fortunate to work with, and certainly our student body. I want to express my gratitude for the Melrose Alliance Against Violence and the Student Action Board for their efforts to educate young people in our schools. I began working back in Melrose and moved back to Melrose just over a decade ago, about the same time. And within moments, you knew that the Melrose Alliance Against Violence was a hallmark of this community. You could understand the importance it played in the schools as well as the community for all of their efforts and communication that they had. I think one of the greatest aspects of that probably not everyone even here knows is the work that's done in the schools through the Student Action Board led by Mr. Perillo and the many student leaders each year. Every year there's a group of student leaders who are trained that then give presentations to the entire 9th grade at the high school about healthy relationships, nonviolent behavior. Some of these students have given those presentations, and they all received those presentations when they were in 9th grade. So I want to say thank you to Mr. Perillo, both Crystal, Rebecca, formally, and all the efforts of the Student Action Board and the Melrose Alliance Against Violence in what they've done in the school. This practice has become an integral part of our climate and culture at Melrose High School, so thank you. Again, I'm proud to work with so many great teachers, student leaders, who are all great role models by holding one another accountable for their actions, taking care of one another, treating each other with respect. We're very fortunate to have that community in which we go to work and school each day. Just in closing, I'd want to say how fortunate I am to be the principal at Melrose High School, but just as much how fortunate I am to be raising my 2 sons and daughter in this community as well. I don't take that for granted. We're very fortunate, and it's days and efforts like this that make it a special place to live and raise a family. So thank you all for being here today. Thank you for the kind words. Thank you all. Keep each other well.
And I'm the caboose. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Charlie Melia, and I'm a member of the Melrose Alliance Against Violence Board of Directors. On behalf of the MAVE Board, I'd like to thank you all for coming out today and taking the pledge to end violence against women on this beautiful day here in Melrose. Special thanks to Mayor Brodeur and Lily Martin for helping make this event possible. Thank you to the members of the Student Action Board, Principal Jason Merrill, Joe Perillo, for their help in making this event a success. Thank you to Congresswoman Catherine Clark, Senator Jason Lewis, Representative Lipper Garabedian, members of the Melrose City Council and School Committee, and Chief Fowler for all of their support. Thank you very much to the neighboring organizations, WAVE of Wakefield and SAVE of Stoneham, for joining us today and bringing awareness of White Ribbon Day to their communities. Thank you to our friends from Respond, to all of you for coming out today and supporting our cause. Be sure to get a white ribbon from our table. If you haven't already done so, you can wear it and help spread the message of the White Ribbon Day Pledge when people ask you about it. If anyone is interested in learning more about Men for MAVE specifically or participating in future MAVE events, there's a sign-up sheet available here as well. Or if you are a Melrose High School student, so there's some sheets around with the QR codes so you can register your attendance at the event. Thank you all for your participation today, and that concludes our activities. So thank you.
I will promote respect, dignity, and equality.
I will speak out against attitudes and behaviors that contribute to sexual assault and domestic violence.
I will remind myself and others that gender-based violence is an issue that affects us all, regardless of our backgrounds and identities.
I will confront sexism, homophobia, racism, transphobia, and other forms of oppression.
I will find out how to help when I suspect that someone I know is a victim or offender of sexual assault or domestic violence.
Please repeat after me. I pledge never to commit,
I pledge never to commit,
excuse or stay silent
excuse or stay silent
about violence against women.
about violence against women. From this day forward,
From this day forward,
I promise to be a part of the solution
I promise to be a part of the solution
in ending all gender-based violence.
in ending all gender-based violence.